Hello and welcome to our time management training workshop. We are group 5 and in this group is Carmen, Ramanjot, Ravni, Sabrina, Sukhmanpreet, and Gurmeet. So time management training. What is time management training? In the course of this workshop, we'll learn what exactly it is, what it means to be manage your time efficiently and effectively, and who actually is in need of this training. So, to go more into this time management workshop, it's geared towards students. So, essentially, students with low performance in their grades, low participation, whether it comes to actual assignments, group projects, or just class discussions, low productivity. So, are you completing your courses? And miss class. So, are you even attending? So, in order to go a little further, we would need to do a need analysis. So, this flow chart, we're just going to go a little more in detail. It kind of starts off and what is the issue? So, low grades due to being time efficient. So, is this important? Yes. So, we're going to continue on with the flow chart. Otherwise, if it was no, we would have gone ahead and terminated the analysis right there. And then we go on to discuss with an instructor or an advisor of the situation. We then move to collect information. We get an organization analysis, a task analysis, and a person analysis. And then we go ahead and come out with the outcomes, which include plan ahead with sudden emergencies, calendar changes, and start study groups with classmates, and also read ahead. So, some of the training content that we will discuss is either information that we've already found online that's already available to us, or we would also tailor the material depending on the needs of this particular group. So, our pre training interventions, this is just one of our success stories.
I'm here for telling my experience in before and after time management course. So in my last semester, I have a course and I have too many projects in that course. And once I forgot to submit it on the due, and I got 10% just for the due, and everything was fine in it. And the instructor said, if you could do that on time, you could get 100%. And then next time, after when I take the time management course, so I came with some strategies and organize everything on time, which really had me for submitting the projects on time. So when after the course, I submit the projects on time, and I really got very good marks and sometimes 100% in that in the same course for the different assignment. That's all. Thank you.
And then just to continue on, we're also going to be doing a couple surveys, some questionnaires, and also a few discussions of what has brought them here. So just to go a little deeper, the questionnaires would kind of focus on what exactly is it that students are focusing most of their time on when it should be studying, or are they even spending any of their time doing their assignments and whatnot. Discussions of what brought them here. We are reaching out to instructors as well as program advisors who would recommend students, or maybe it's even mandatory from these instructors and advisors. So, the training methods we would use PowerPoint, We would have worksheets, there would be videos, games, as well as an ongoing discussion. So, just to go more into our seating, excuse me, just to go more into our seating, as you can see up top, we have the whiteboard, the projector screen, the facilitator's desk, the workshop of the facilitator, where they would mostly be presenting, and then those yellow desks that are at a 45-degree angle with two per desk are the trainees' desks. These desks are strategically placed to maximize the learning that can be done, as well as getting minimal distractions. So, as far as the scheduling goes, it would be a 1 month workshop, 2 hour sessions, and it would be a session a week. So, in total, there would be 4 sessions. So for the actual agenda, a breakdown, it would be week one, it would be an introduction to time management. And the activities would be a self assessment and then a group discussion, a day in your life. So that's pretty much just getting to know everyone, becoming more comfortable with the people in your group, and kind of just getting an idea of what people are doing right now that is working, some things might be working and whatnot. So, week two, we learn how to overcome procrastination. There's an online video, there's a group discussion, and as well as a game. Week three, how to set priorities and goal setting techniques. So, we learn how to say no. There's a group discussion of what is your top 5 things that you'd say no to, and we can go more into that. And there's also a practice assignment of a goal setting worksheet. And then finally, week 4 is how to increase productivity and closing the training program. It's introduction to the time management tools and productivity apps that you can find on your phone, as well as the workshop evaluation survey. And every week, at the beginning of the start of every week, there will be a discussion as well as a questionnaire to see what has worked for them that week in practicing everything that, or trying to implement everything that they've learned in the workshop the previous Saturday. So, going more into detail, the week one, the introduction to management, the trainings will recognize the importance of better time management and skills in their educational career. So, in this, they will do a SWOT analysis. And with the SWOT analysis, you'll get the strengths, the weakness, the opportunities, and the threats of time management. And this is just an example. This is something that's done with the class. So just to be more of an eye opener of what they're facing and things they can do and learn to help them in the upcoming weeks of the workshop. In week 2, we learn how to overcome procrastination. So there's different ways. We will hold different discussions and some games, but we're also going to be watching this video.
Knowledge is not only power, knowledge is profit, right? The faster you can learn, the faster you can earn.
It's Sunday night. The day has come to a close, and the sight of twinkling stars in the night sky is as welcome as the crisp night air. That is, not very welcome, because it's Sunday night, and I still have to write my English essay. So I get ready to write, and I realized that in order to write well, I gotta channel some of my favorite writers: Steinbeck, Jane Austen. Except it might have been a while, so strictly to remember what they wrote like, I indulge research with a novel or two. After that's done, I sit back down at my desk, ready to crank out what I'm sure is going to be a masterpiece. Except that's when I realize my nails are too long. How am I supposed to grip my pencil properly with my nails being too long? It simply can't be done. So I spend half an hour looking for the nail cutter, and I file down those bad boys. After every nail on my body has been trimmed and buffed and polished, I get right back on task. And that's when it hits me. I haven't worked out yet today. Or this past year, but somehow that didn't seem relevant until right this moment. 2 hours, 3 push-ups, and 24 cat videos later, I realized that exercise just isn't for me. But of course, one must follow the standard conventions of hygiene, so since I exercised, I hop into the shower for a quick cleanse. I exit the bathroom fresh-faced and hydrated, but one glance at the clock across the room stops me cold in my tracks. It's 12:30 a.m., and I haven't written a single word of my English essay. I somehow managed to finish the essay and turn it in, but it isn't my best work. I feel like a failure, and the future doesn't seem all that exciting. The question, what's next, generates only a dreadful sense of gloom, because I know what's next, the same cycle of emotions I went through while writing that essay. So on Monday night, it's the same guilt, stress, anxiety, failure. And on Tuesday night, it's the same guilt, stress, anxiety, and failure. And on Wednesday, and on Thursday, and on Friday. No matter how much I tell myself to be better, that I'll regret it if I procrastinate, I can't seem to change my behavior. It seems like this will just be my life till I graduate, and my same bad habits will follow me into college and my career too. I even see a vision of myself in my old age, alone, in a messy apartment, crying and blowing my nose into my shirt as I watch Say Yes to the Dress. And I'm watching TV because I'm procrastinating on writing my will. So, I was procrastinating on writing my will. Now, that's what I am, a procrastinator. Now, believe it or not, being a procrastinator isn't easy. I invest a lot of time, effort, and resources into it. For example, every day after school, I dedicatedly follow a rigorous schedule. From 3:25 to 4:30, I dawdle. From 4:30 to 6:42, I delay. From 6:42 to 7:14, one can usually find me loitering, and then until 11:29, I'm just way too busy twiddling my thumbs. So, other than these valiant efforts on my part, what exactly does being a procrastinator mean? Well, a procrastinator, simply put, is someone who puts off doing work. There are two types actually. There's the situational procrastinator, whose behavior depends on the specific task they have to do. If they don't like it, they'll push it off and try to avoid it. Think most people with laundry, cleaning, and anything involving unpleasant conversation, which is why my mother still has not given me the talk. Then there's chronic procrastination. Now, the chronic procrastination has trouble finishing any task at all. They generally have a tough time getting anything done. In case you're wondering, I kind of fall into this category. The chronic procrastinator's worst nightmare is when an unpleasant task combines with their high impulsivity and lack of self-discipline to create a whirling cesspool of, I'd rather not. So knowing all this, we can say that there's a definite link between work and procrastination. There's a definite link between our attitude towards work, whether we like it or not, and procrastination. So me being this procrastinator, what does that say about me? Does this mean that I'm nothing more than a lazy person doomed to failure? Does this mean that I lack the basic skills necessary to manage myself? Well, let's find out. So, after the essay debacle, just to make sure that I'm not the only one with this issue while everybody else is sitting around in perfect world sipping apple cider out of wine glasses while lounging poolside, I asked around a bit. Turns out a fantastic amount of people are procrastinators. Almost all of my friends go through the same homework completing process as me. They don't like the hassle of completing hours for honor societies, so they don't. Until the very last second. My 23-year-old cousin hates paying his bills, so he doesn't. Until the very last second. My teacher hates grading our tests, so he doesn't. Until the very last second. And my parents hate filing their taxes, so they don't. Say it with me now. Until the very last second. Yeah, IRS just loves them. So I had established that procrastination is a big issue that needed some attention. I started wondering if it would always be this way for me, if I'd always be so unsatisfied in my life. And that's when it hits me. What would make for the best world-changing innovation? What would make for the most epic
So we will continue that video in the actual workshop. And then these are just after the video, we will go in with the class. Excuse me. And these are just a couple of tips and tricks and decision making from the actual trainer. So there's actually 7 of them. So what you need to say no to, and we would definitely go through them. So these are things that you could possibly say no to and it would be okay. So in week 3, we learn the art of saying no to set priorities and finding the strength in them. There is a video on this, and we will watch this in the workshop. And after the video, there is a goal setting worksheet. So in this goal setting worksheet, you would figure out what is the goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Number 2, why is this goal important? Is it for the fact you just want to get over procrastinating? Do you want to get good grades? And you kind of just go into the acronym of SMART. And then after that, there are a few more questions down here, and just some more goal setting of when you'd want to achieve these things by. And then finally, we come to week 4 and how to increase productivity. So these are a couple of games. The Mayo Jar will get more into that in the actual workshop. Spend it or lose it. This is pretty much a worksheet. You get $86,400 and you figure out how you want to spend it. You got to figure out what is most important to you. What priorities do you have to spend it in what order? You're not able to save the money, so it kind of helps you to learn to prioritize. And then we go into more of the training evaluation, like how was this training, what needs to be improved, and we get more into what are you actually taking away, if anything, from this training. And our training and development process, there are other training outlines and delivery methods. So it can be at any college or university. Student services or academic support departments are the ones that would be running it. So, and the title is Effective Time Management Workshops. And the facilitators do vary depending on where you're actually taking the program. Again, it's 8 hours in total within 4 weeks. And it is for the students who have the low study performance due to time management problems. And it would be a small campus, a classroom on campus, as we do want to keep the group small too, so we can maximize the attention that these students get. Excuse me. So then we go into the feedback portion of the workshop, and we find out, again, more into detail. Is it more on the benefits of it to an individual person versus a team, which would be a class? Then we find out, are there any gaps in the training? We do go ahead and discuss the steps to figure out, are there gaps, and then of how to fix these gaps. But at this point, there are no gaps in this workshop because it is so tailored, and the need analysis is so it's a really critical part in our study to actually design this program. And every step beyond that was carefully executed executed going forward with technology always changing, the needs of students changing, and other variables that can be put into our labs. There's no doubt that there would always be gaps in the future, but that's why the great thing about this program is that whenever we see a gap coming, we can always go ahead. If it's not even foreseen, when we do see it, we're able to tailor the program so it best works with everyone that is involved. Other than that, we thank you for um, tuning in with us for and just an outline and a little bit of a deeper look into our workshop, and we hope to see you there.